Trash of the Count's Family. Chapter 251, 3 Days 2. Part 2. Spoiler warning. Book 1 novel.
Plop. The entrance flap was opened and then closed again. Cale turned away from the closed entrance as he headed toward Ryeo Han, who had created a teleportation magic circle on the ground in the tent. The magic circle underneath Ryeo Han's feet were shining brightly. Ryeo Han activated the magic circle as soon as Cale stepped on top of it.
Ugh. Cale closed his eyes as his surroundings blurred. He felt his body teleport before hearing the ancient dragon's voice. We will teleport to that dragon, to Olien's lair. The former oldest dragon in the eastern continent. Cale had teleported to his lair.
He could see the mess of a lair the moment he opened his eyes. The lair that probably once had a lot of beautiful sculptures was full of dust and was also destroyed in multiple places. Nobody would think that this used to be a dragon's lair. However, Cale could tell that it was a dragon's lair as soon as he got there.
Ryeo Han's bitter voice could be heard. This is what happens to a dragon that does not die a natural death. A dragon that did not die a natural death. Whether it is from suicide or murder, a dragon who dies without living out its full lifespan looks different from dragons that live for their full 1,000 years.
Cale could see the rotting dragon corpse from on the side. A dragon who finishes its 1,000 years of life would shine brightly and turn into dust as they become part of the earth. However, just like the dragon skeleton in the black swamp in the forest of darkness, a dragon that does not live out its entire life starts to rot, just like any other life form.
It rots into the ground extremely slowly. The rotting usually finishes within 100 years, but this guy. Ryeo Han stopped to sigh before continuing to speak.
It ended up being delayed for this guy because he died in his lair. He was in a really good area, so his rotting speed was slowed. That is why he looks like this right now. Cale could not say anything. He could tell why Ryeo Han had been angry. A portion of the dead dragon's body was dug into with the heart at the center.
It was fitting to say that someone had eaten him. Well, someone had taken a few bites out of him, as the heart and the surrounding flesh were gone. Olien was a green dragon. He was a complete asshole who always talked back to you. But he was still a decent guy, just like the little kid. Ryeo Han did not share any more of his past memories as he started to walk.
Follow me. I will show you the traces of the water. His lips twitched for a bit before he added on. I will take care of him once the truth is revealed and I figure out all of the necessary information. I will return him to nature. Definitely. Ryeo Han could see Cale walking next to him. Let us move quickly then.
He laughed after seeing Cale, who was more action than words walking in front of him. Ryeo Han stepped back in front of Cale, who did not know where they were going, and guided him to a secret area. Cale looked around while looking at the large lair that was giving off a majestic aura, even though it was destroyed and covered in dust. A secret area in a dragon's lair. Where could that be? He really was curious.
He was also curious about the hint about the water ancient power. The hallway, office, study, and bedroom. Cale flinched once they walked past every room. It's in the restroom? The tub to be specific. He really liked taking half baths. I see.
The dragon's secret area was in the restroom. Ryeo Han put his hand on the tub as Cale looked around with a shocked expression. It was at that moment. Are you trying to sacrifice yourself? What? The super rock started to speak. Are we eating again? The glutton priestess started to speak as well.
Why are the two of them being like this? Cale frowned after seeing a bright light as his mind was becoming complicated. Boom! White gold mana was coming out of Ryeo Han's hand. The tub shined and let out a green magic circle once the mana touched by a tub. That magic circle then covered the entire restroom. Cale let out a gasp at that moment.
Wow. A forest had appeared. The average-looking restroom inside the cave had turned into a forest. Olien's attribute was wood. He had created a forest in his area. A tree had appeared where the tub used to be. It was a large tree with a round ditch dug underneath it.
Inside the ditch was a diary. The diary was covered in regular leather, however, there were some small pieces of parchment on the inside as well. Ryeo Han picked up the diary. The most important treasure to a dragon is its records. The record that it existed in this world. That is why the first thing they put in their secret areas are their records.
He felt as if he said something useless to Ryeo and Cale as he quickly opened up the diary. He stopped on a page with a parchment paper being used as a bookmark. This is the only page in the diary that talks about the Western continent instead of the Eastern continent. The only page with information about the Western continent. Iruaben picked up the piece of parchment paper on that page.
It is an old parchment paper that has had magic cast on it in order to let it last a long time. It seems to have been left behind a long time ago. I think it is possible that this is the trace. Why do you have such an expression on your face? Cale's expression seemed like a mix of laughter and frown. He could see the words written on top of the parchment.
He had seen something similar before. He recalled the wooden plaque that he received from the elf priestess in the elf village with the world tree regarding the water of judgment. It also had the words, letter of resignation, written on it. However, the contents were a bit different. This was what was written on the wooden plaque.
World tree, you stupid idiot. I'm now free. The water of judgment? I'm a free spirit now. The tone made Cale certain that this ancient power was not normal as well.
However, something different was written on this one. You evil bastards. You dare to push me out? You damn white snake bastards. I will shoot water cannons at you bastards. The words that were getting more intense made Cale's mind devolve into a complicated mess.
The dry lake in the Peirun kingdom. It was said that they had pushed away the child that the god who was making the lake favored, thus making the angry god take away the water. The ones to push that child away were the members of the Seka household with the white snake as their house crest.
Perhaps was the child that the god favored the owner of the ancient power? Cale read the final statement on the parchment. I will go cause trouble like the fiery thunderbolt cheapskate. Just watch. The fiery thunderbolt cheapskate. The fire destruction.
He recalled one of the things that the owner of the ancient power that liked money had done. He had heard the story when he went to visit the World Tree about how the fire of destruction had covered the entire north with fire, making the World Tree sense danger to its life. He suddenly had a question. Who put out that fire?
Cale was thinking that the person who put out that fire may have been the owner of this water of judgment. It's written in the diary where he found the parchment. I think the ancient power may be at that location. Cale's gaze headed toward the diary. The super rock started to speak into Cale's mind at that moment.
The glutton, the cheapskate, the thief, the crybaby, and now, the indestructible shield, the fire of destruction, the sound of the wind, and the vitality of the heart. He was listing the names of the owners of the ancient powers.
This time, the crazy kid. What kid? Are you trying to sacrifice yourself? Cale was at a loss for words after hearing the super rock seriously sounding concerned.
Chapter 251 Part 2. Completed. To be continued. Thanks for watching.